Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching Mark's Out Wrestling Aftershock Reviews. We talk all my thoughts on wrestling, not just WWE, and not just like pay-per-views all the time. Sometimes it's just general thoughts, rants, whatever. So anyways, I finally got to watch the very first episode, or I should say my very first episode of Ring of Honor on, I guess, June 24, 2018, because it's like, you know, past midnight, so I guess it counts as June 24, 2018. So yeah, that's the episode I saw. So finally, after hearing like all the rumors, all the gossip, and all the stuff in the pro wrestling crate that has, you know, the shirts, the guys, you know, Hangman, the villain, Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, all that stuff, I finally got to see an actual episode. And also, I got to mention a couple of things here and there I kind of forgot to mention in the previous video. First off with Big Cass, I did find out a bit more information. Apparently, he was going to try to talk to Carmella, like to get back together again, because again, they dated in real life. You know, whether or not that appears on TV, in real life they were dating. I guess he was trying to, talk to her or whatever. She wasn't having it. He, like, grabbed her. I guess it's kind of like she's going away. It's like, hey, where are you going? That kind of thing. And that started, like, a big thing. Like, I think the Usos and Eric Rowan and them came in to kind of break it up. And that was, like, the last draw. I guess Big Cass did a lot of stuff. There was a stint he did where I guess he was beating up, like a smaller person that was imitating Daniel Bryan. I guess an example, like, this is what I'm going to do to you or whatever. And the skit went on for too long. People thought it was in bad taste. And Vince McMahon also thought that the skit went on for too long. It was cutting in the time of the show and so all that stuff. So the Carmella thing was like the last draw that finally got him fired, you know. And other things, one thing I forgot to mention, and it's true that I really should have brought it up, is that Big Bang Vader passed away. And, yeah, it's a real shame. And this guy was, he was big in WCW. He went to WWF. He came back to WCW. He was a badass. He was like, you know, it's Vader time and all that. And, like, what can I say? He was pretty cool. I watched him mostly in WCW, to be honest. I've seen clips of WWF, but he was, like, in WCW when I was watching him. And obviously, he probably went to other organizations here and there. He had, like, the big, this big metal elephant-type mask thing. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think in some anime, I want to say Dragon Ball Z, I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say that one of the guys that was with Mr. Satan when he was going to fight against Cell was wearing that same elephant thing, and he was kind of like referencing kind of like a homage to Big Bang Vader. But obviously, if you Big Fatal Fury, Raiden, before he became Big Bear, but Raiden in the original Fatal Fury 1, and I don't know, not so much the other game, but the original Fatal Fury, that mask he was wearing, that was a straight up Vader homage right there. That was a big, like, you know, tip to the hat to Big Bang Vader, because he was awesome and everything. And of course he was awesome in Japan as well, so, you know. But, what can I say? It's a shame. I guess it's Vader time in heaven now. May he go rest in peace and challenge the greats like the Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior and all them up there. And a moment of silence for Big Bang Vader. May he rest in peace. Okay. And what else can I say? There was other stuff. Well, with Ring of Honor, what can I say? There were a lot of things going down here and there with Ring of Honor that you may or may not have heard. But there was a thing where Jericho left, and Jericho actually challenged Kenny Omega, which is one of the biggest guys in Ring of Honor. So, like, I don't know how Jericho works, because he still technically works for the WWE, but he has, like the contract or some kind of permission to still work on other federations, but without, like, being fired from WWE. Oh, that's another thing. Big Cass has like a 90-day stipulation on his contract, so he can't work anywhere else until the 90 days are up. So, you know. But anyways, somehow, what's his name? Jericho can somehow wrestle elsewhere and not be fired. He can still come back to WWE whenever he wants. And he had a big match against Kenny Omega. It was a super badass match. It was last year. So that, of course, brought more attention to Kenny Omega for the people that don't follow Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And let me see here. There was a big thing with the Bullet Club, with the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks were doing the too sweet. I don't know if they say the same, like, too sweet, like the NWO people do, but it's the exact same, you know, hand signal, same too sweet and all that stuff. So, of course, WWF took offense to it. They wanted to censor that. They wanted to stop them from saying it. And they purposely released a shirt that actually says, like, too sweet, but the word sweet are censored out, the hand signal censored out, like making fun of WWF. But the most recent, well, WWE, but the most recent thing was that, I guess, Madison Square Garden always has lots of events for WWE, but they've been kind of upset that like they have all the minor house shows and the live at Madison Square Garden, those kind of events, but not like the big pay-per-views, not like WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Like, when's the last time they ever had an event there? And they wanted to give an event for a pay-per-view for Ring of Honor, but WWE put their foot down in there and stopped that, put the whole kibosh on the whole thing, and they basically cock-blocked Ring of Honor from having a chance to have their, their pay-per-view there at the Madison Square Garden. So it's still kind of iffy here. And another thing is that recently also, Xavier Woods challenged Kenny Omega to play Street Fighter 5. It was a competition. It was one of the tournaments or something. It was the New Day, all three members of the New Day versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and they were all playing together. I think in the end, Kenny Omega still won, but the thing is, it's the first time in a long time WWE was actually forced to acknowledge him and actually say that Xavier Woods will be playing against Kenny Omega, for this event, for the up, down, down, and all that. And another cool thing is, like, this commercial they did for Final Fight, well, for Cody, like the Cody trailer, because Cody, of course, is going to be in Street Fighter 5. Kenny Omega was dressed up as Cody, and they were reenacting the part because, of course, Cody's now the mayor of Metro City. I hope they explain how that happened. But he was the mayor of Metro City now, and he wanted to copy the exact same thing for the opening from Final Fight, that the phone rings or whatever. And there's Xavier Woods on the phone saying, like, hey, Mr. Hagar, Mr. Cody, turn on your TV, like the game. So it's kind of funny. It was like, Omega dressed up as Cody while Xavier Woods was calling from the phone, kind of like Damn did back in Final Fight. So that's like a cool thing they all did. And apparently from watching this episode last night, Jericho has some kind of cruise. He's like on a cruise ship or something right now, and the Ring of Honor people are going to be there. I think Candice LeRae are going to be there, Young Bucks, all the guys are going to be there, and he's just there. I feel the wave, man, and all that. So, like, just Chris Jericho still doing a lot for the Ring of Honor people. So anyways, on to the actual episode. I'm surprised it's only an hour long, so it's only like 2 matches and some promos, and of course there's this big promo, this big pay-per-view coming this weekend, this Friday actually, that's called Best in the World. So of course there's a lot of talk about that, about the matches. It's gonna be badass, like, you got to see it, what's gonna happen, that kind of stuff, like wrestling always does. There's always that, but like for a show it's only an hour long, like it really cuts in a lot of the time. But what can I say? And yeah, it kind of reminds me of the older shows. I was watching WWF Superstars way back in the day, back when it was like Papa Shango and the Ultimate Warrior, Razor Ramon was actually new, like all that stuff. We were watching that back in the day, so it kind of reminded me of that. And another thing that surprised me is how many people I recognize are in Ring of Honor. Like, holy shit! Like the first match was Jay Lethal versus this guy named Chucky T. And Jay Lethal was in TNA, and for a good stint, he did like the whole black machismo thing. He was kind of imitating Macho Man. He was doing the whole, ooh, yeah, like everything though. The flying, the falling elbow drop, all that stuff. And the TNA game I played for a while back, for my one episode, Jay Lethal appeared in his black machismo gimmick. So here he's fighting, here he's his regular guy now. He's his own man. He's not imitating anyone else. And apparently he's having like revenge matches. He's going against I guess people that defeated him in the past, so he's trying to get some payback, and he had a match he lost against Chucky T before, so now it's like their rematch and everything, and yeah, it's a pretty solid match there. It was interesting. It was a bit kind of slow and technical at first and everything, and he did a lot of like a lot of weird counter reversals. Like there was one time when they were trying to do like a hip toss or an Irish whip to each other, and they kept doing it and turning around, doing it, turning around. They did like about 4 or 5 times before someone finally got the move in. There's some interesting reversals there. And one thing that surprised me too. Well, first thing I don't know much about Ring of Honor, but apparently the countouts are 20, like a count of 20 instead of a count of 10, so it's kind of different. And yeah, another thing that surprised me, it just caught me off guard, because again, I'm trying to get myself out of the mindset. It's like different wrestling federation, different rules, but during the match, Chucky T, Charlie Taylor, basically grabbed Jay Lethal and fucking did a pile driver on him, like a real fucking pile driver. And I'm like, holy shit, a pile driver. I thought that shit was like, like banned, but I keep remembering it. Okay, it's banned from WWE, but not Ring of Honor. But when I saw it, I'm like, holy fucking shit, a pile driver. I haven't seen that like since forever and everything. And it was like it looked more legit than when the Undertaker does his tombstone, where it was like holy shit. And in the end, what can I say? Lethal got him with what they call, I guess, a lethal injection. It's kind of like a weird, almost like a jumping RKO type move or something. And it looks pretty cool. He did it outside the ring once, but of course in the end he did it in the ring where it actually counts. He got the 3 count and he won, and that's kind of cool. And then they announced, I also forgot to say, because I care more about the action than the talking, but the episode actually started with the current champion, Dalton Castle. I got this because it's going to take you a while to remember like this entire new roster, right? But Dalton Castle's current champion just came in there to talk smack and whatever. And of course, the pay-per-view, the big event's going to be Marty, the villain, Cody Rhodes, and Dalton Castle to see between the 3 of them, triple threat match to see who's the best in the world. So he came in to talk some smack. There was another weird one that made me surprised because Bully Ray for the Dudley Boys is there, and I guess he was shaking hands with some guy, and then he like sucker punched and kicked him in the balls or whatever, and that's gonna start like a whole new feud. So I'm like, holy shit, Bully Ray is in Ring of Honor now, so even he's in Ring of Honor. Like everyone's in Ring of Honor. It's like what the hell? And okay, so the last match was super cool, and I was surprised, just 2 matches, But the last match was Adam Page, the Hangman, and the Young Bucks going against the Briscoes, who are the current tag team champions, and Punishment Martinez. And damn, that's a bad dude. That's like a big dude that'll fuck you up. And that was the last match. It was pretty long. I felt like it was kind of annoying because commercial breaks like every whatever. But what can I say? I finally saw the Young Bucks, and holy shit, I'm a fucking believer now. They are fucking awesome. They did so many impossible things, man. They just backflip all over the fucking place, man, like crazy. I thought they were just gonna do like random stuff or just super kicks, and they did a little too many super kicks, but all the backflips and stuff out of nowhere, man. Like this dude, one of the Briscoes picked up one of the Young Bucks for I guess their finisher because apparently the other Briscoe guy was gonna climb on the top of the rope and attack him from there. He jumped in there, and as he jumped, the Young Buck guy somehow fucking backflipped out of the way of the attack and landed safely, and I'm like, whoa, what the fucking hell? That is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. He fucking backflipped out of an attack in motion, like holy shit. And he did this cool thing too where he kind of, I don't know, like he backflips and falls on one guy and then flips and lands on the other guy. They're taking people out. And anyways, in this match, they also started bringing in chairs. They started bringing in tables. I was kind of confused. I don't know if that happens all the time. I was kind of like, well, they didn't say it was that kind of match. I mean, did they get disqualified? But no, the match kept going. They were throwing people through tables. What's his name? Adam Punishment actually managed to get one of the guys on the table and jump on him down with a fucking elbow drop and just smash that table in half. And they were throwing chairs at each other's faces and stuff. It was just super crazy. The Young Bucks were both doing like sharpshooters on the Briscoes, and it looked like they were gonna win that way. But then like Martinez comes in and just grabs them both by the neck. And he's gonna do like a fucking double choke slam. Like I want to see what that was. I don't know if his moves. I don't know if obviously I don't know his moves yet. I don't know if he has a choke slam. It looked like he was going to do a double choke slam, but he was stopped by Adam Page before I could see what he was going to do. And yeah, Adam Page is going to have this big match against Punishment Martinez. So in this match, they were really into each other's faces a lot. It was a big build-up. Like whenever they got into the ring, it was like, oh shit, here we go. So it was a lot of big build-up and everything. And but yeah, those are the things I remember the most. The chairs, the tables, the amazing backflip out of danger. I've never seen anyone being held up by the bad guy and you fucking backflip out of that. That just I mean, I've never seen that before. That's amazing. And let's see here. Let me try to remember here. I forget exactly how they won, but I remember that Adam Page or someone they actually did pin the Briscoes down, and they actually did win. But unfortunately, of course, as bad guys always cheat. The celebration didn't last too long. The moment that the Young Bucks were celebrating and they announced the winner and all that stuff, the Briscoes start attacking the crap out of them, and everyone starts cheating. Everyone starts, all the bad guys are beating the crap out of the good guys. And I could have sworn I've seen Cody just come in before they cut to the end, because they were already ending. It was already a couple of minutes past the hour mark, and it looked like Cody was jumping in to help them out and stuff, but that's going to be a big thing. So, what I can tell, the pay-per-view is going to have Cody, the villain, and you know, Castle going against each other. They're going to have Adam Page versus Punishment Martinez. Punishment Martinez looks like a badass motherfucker. Looks like it'll be a badass match with them. The Briscoes versus the Young Bucks. And apparently like a 10-woman, I don't know if it's a word. No, it's a tag team match between 10 women. So that'll be kind of interesting to watch. It's this Friday. I guess I'll miss it. I don't know. That's another thing about this. They got their streaming service. I just realized here. They got a streaming service that is very similar to the network. And it's the WWE Network, you know, and it's also like $10 a month. But the weird thing is, it's like they want you to pay for their pay-per-views. The pay-per-views cost, you know, $35 or whatever, you know, for pay-per-views. Like the usual way you do it in cable. You do the provider thing either through the website or I guess on your own TV, and you do a pay-per-view for cable and stuff. Like by the time I get home from work, I'll be missing half of it. It's like really worth paying money. I want to miss half of it. I don't know if it costs more to watch it the second time or whatever. But the thing about the network I don't like is that this one is like $10.99 for the network, and you get a special half off for the pay-per-views. I'm like, wait, so I'm paying for the streaming stuff, but I still gotta pay half off for the pay-per-view? Like, what? You know, because from what I understand, Ring of Honor took a very long time. They were like the last guys to get like the streaming service, because WWE has a streaming service. New Japan Pro Wrestling has a streaming service. Of course, I got the other one from the indies that's called Powerbomb TV's their streaming service and stuff like that. But this like they came into the party and you want you to pay $10 a month, but they also want you to pay for the pay-per-views. Even though it's a half discounted rate, it's like, you know, no offense you guys and no offense to the Ring of Honor fans, but WWE Network, you only pay $10 a month and you get to watch all the pay-per-views. I'm not paying $20 for Money in the Bank or you know, whatever. I'm actually watching it as part of my network subscription, you know. And yeah, I do believe if you pay the annual like $110 or so, you can watch all the pay-per-views as part of that. But like, I don't know. I know that you do save money like in the long run if you do the math. But for me, it is so easier to kind of chip away $10 a month, as opposed to paying whopping $110 like right there in one sitting. But I don't know. I kind of don't like that. Like, I was tempted to check it out because I was really bumped up by the show, you know, pumped up, whatever, hyped up, whatever. And I really wanted to watch it, but so I could watch the pay-per-view this Friday because it would have been so cool to review the pay-per-view. But like, to sign up for that service and still pay for half of the pay-per-view, like, no thanks, no thanks. If I actually see it some way, I'll see, but like, no thanks. And Impact Wrestling is also on some weird ass channel that I can't get or don't have. And they got a streaming service too. They got a thing where you can watch, like, well, both Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling got a thing where you can watch like episodes like the week after or something like that. So maybe I can watch some of that. But they also got a streaming service, but the streaming service doesn't really make it too clear. And they got a little video that kind of advertises and whatever. They don't make it too clear if the pay-per-views are part of the streaming service, or is it like Ring of Honor where you still gotta pay half off or whatever. It's just I don't know. I don't get it. That's kind of weird. Especially since Ring of Honor is kind of a niche thing that not many people are into it. You know, the average guy doesn't know too much about wrestling. Only knows about WWE and The Rock and Stone Cold and now, you know, The Undertaker and all that stuff. They only know about like WWE. They don't know too much about the indies or anybody else. For a lot of people, most of these guys like AJ Styles and Nakamura are basically nobodies until they actually appear on the WWE. So they don't care about like the Young Bucks or whoever else is big anywhere else, you know. So these guys are most likely not going to pay $10 for a streaming service, and on top of that, still pay half for the pay-per-view when the WWE, which is the thing that they are familiar with, only costs $10 a month, and they can watch all the pay-per-views without like paying extra. It's like part of the subscription, you know. So I don't know. And again, the Impact one, I'm kind of curious, but like it doesn't specify, the commercial whatever doesn't really specify if you get pay-per-views with it or not, because that's kind of a deal breaker. I kind of want to watch them. I want to see like Tessa Blanchard in action, man. But yeah, anyways, we'll see what happens. I'll watch some more episodes. I'll try to find out what happened to the pay-per-view. I want to see a couple more episodes here and there, and depending on if they really grab me, I'll do a review. I don't bore you guys with constant Ring of Honor review episodes, but whenever some like big shit happens, I'll let you know what's going on. So, yeah, this is it for the wrestling world for now. We'll see what's going on. This is Mark Rodriguez here, again, for Mark. Mark's out on the Wrestling Aftershock Reviews, where it's still real to me. See you next time.